Their 5-year-old daughter rang police to say that they were dead, like it just doesn't even bear thinking about. Her tiny little voice saying that blood was coming out of her dad's mouth. It was around 3 a.m. on the 28th of March 2005 when a 911 operator got a call from a very little voice. In the heartbreaking phone call, 5-year-old Tia Hernlen stated that she had just found her parents on the floor. Her parents were Julie and Aeneas Hernlen, and they'd met back when Aeneas was working as a lifeguard in Daytona Beach, Florida, and there was just an instant spark between them. They really loved spending time in the outdoors, especially surfing as they're pictured here. They soon wanted to get married, and they were also keen for a family, so they ended up having a baby together, which was Tia. All three of them were a super happy family, but it was really important that they also focused on their individual goals, and Julie was working towards becoming a paralegal. But everything would come crashing down on the day in question. Now, little Tia made the phone call and reported to the operator that she'd heard a loud noise and found a bullet on the floor. The dispatcher spoke to the child and tried to kind of reassure her during this incredibly traumatic time. Police raced to the property and Tia was removed from the bloodbath. She was kind of held in a police car by the officers. They just didn't really know what to do with this child. Julie, her mum, was tragically pronounced dead right there and then at the scene, and Aeneas was rushed to hospital. There was unfortunately no saving him though, and he did end up passing away from his injuries. So what on earth had happened here at this house? Well, police looked through their records and discovered that in early 2005, Julie had reported an issue to the police. She told them how a man had been stalking and harassing her. This man was 33-year-old David Johnson, and I struggled to actually find a picture of him. He was actually known to police though. He'd been arrested on substance charges. Now, David believed Julie to be responsible for this, but this was not the case at all, and I'm not really sure why he thought that she was. Nevertheless, he blamed Julie and was insistent on making the pair's life hell. He made threatening phone calls to the couple and was constantly just like driving by their house really eerily, just making them feel very on edge. But then Julie went to police to try and gain a restraining order. You know, we're always told to do that, aren't we? We're told to report things to police and the police will take care of it. The police, in fact, did not take care of it. The judge in the case said no to a restraining order. The judge was adamant that no violence had occurred and said that they couldn't really prove that he'd been stalking them. So sickeningly, David was free to just continue his reign of terror. And Julie just had this gut feeling that things were going to end in tears, and she was correct. In a chilling foreshadowing, she'd actually told one of her friends, "If I end up dead, David is to blame." Now, police knew that David was likely to be responsible for this horrific double murder, so they had to take action now. They knew that with the history of the stalking and harassment allegations, he was the likely only suspect. They headed to his house. They wanted to try and question him and see what was going on. But when they knocked the door, they had no reply. In the end, they found him inside the property, deceased, having unalived himself.